150 coming up in 243 minutes of batting. Ranatunga, an elegant driver. Again, this time going over the top. That's another big hit from the Sri Lankan captain. Not afraid to take the attack to the bowlers. And he is really enjoying his stay out there. So Donald brought back into the attack. He's been used in short spells. Ranatunga taking strike. Down the leg side, a loud shout. He's gone. Didn't wait for the umpire's decision. And that's a very good breakthrough for Alan Donald. He's really happy. 157 for 4. A 57-run partnership in 71 minutes for the fourth wicket. 7 fours, 1 6. Was really tearing into the South African attack, and Donald doing the rest. Shuffled too far out, couldn't control it. Saw that the catch was taken clean, and he was on his way. Hashan Tilakaratne made a big half century at this venue against the Australians. Confident middle order batsman. Jonty Rhodes once more. And this time, not the best of returns. Enables the batsman to go for those extra runs. So Tilakaratne is off the mark. Not in the fashion probably he intended. Donald to Aravinda De Silva. He hooks. He's a belligerent hooker, and Donald knows it. Dropped it short, and he was very quickly into position and controlled it well, pivoting on his toes as he played the stroke. Perfect one, and a very good boundary. So Brett Schulz. Getting the edge of Aravinda De Silva through to the South African captain at first slip, and he's gone. 5 for 168, and Sri Lanka in trouble. That was a very good breakthrough indeed for Brett Schulz, picking up his second wicket, and Aravinda De Silva squared up on that occasion. He played very cautiously, batted for over 2 hours, and that catch straight into Wessels. He made no mistake, and see the delight in the South African camp. Ruan Kalpake, the new batsman, in, playing in his second test match, and the last of the recognized batsmen for Sri Lanka. A well struck through the offside field. That's going down to the boundary. So he's off the mark, but a way to get off it. Simcox dropping it short, and very firmly struck and equally well fielded by Jonty Rhodes, and direct hit. Back, and he hit it very hard onto the ground. Kalinin had to take evasive action. And look at that. Absolute artistry. And a perfect return. Tilakaratne taking strike from Pat Simcox. Dropping it short. Deserved to be hit and smacked through mid-wicket for 4. These two batsmen play for the same club, so they have a big understanding. And Tilakaratne, the ball not very far away from the forward short leg. Brett Schulz hit away through cover point, 4 runs to Ruan Kalpake. Didn't move much but he timed it so well. So he's prepared to take the attack to the bowlers. And there it is, once more, pitched up to him. Hit it uppishly, but into the gap. No danger there whatsoever. And the 200 up in 311 minutes of batting. After the second new ball was taken after 75 overs. Once again, through the offside, 4 more. This is very good batting by Ruan Kalpage. Not afraid to be tied down by the new ball, and the 50 partnership taking only 62 minutes. Again, struck through long on. Officially, the field was up. So, it was a safe stroke to be played. And this is the third half-century partnership of the innings. Again, neatly clipped away through square leg. This outfield is very fast, and it just beats the fielder, Alan Donald. Extreme won't like that one. And a slow learning process for the debutant South African spinners. Both batsmen very good players of spin bowling. Oh, missed that one. Trigatna having a few close calls, but not on this occasion. Very firmly struck through mid-on, 4 runs. Tilakaratne is happy to get into the runs once more, although Kalpage has overtaken him, and the crowd was really pleased after a good 73-run partnership unfinished for the 6th wicket that brought respectability for the Sri Lankan total after they were reduced to 168 for 5 at one stage. And Mahanama once again a solid knock, well supported by Arjuna Ranatunga, a bit hasty I thought, but a subdued innings from Aravinda De Silva, but Tilakaratne and Kalpage really consolidating. 90 overs bowled almost on the dot, South Africa having a good over rate. Sri Lanka's position would have been difficult after Hathurusingha went, but Kurusingha was also solid. And although Donald bowled in short spells, he was successful, well supported by Scholes. But Cronje, the workhorse, he bowled extremely well, and I thought deserved better figures than that. Simcox and Eckstein learning it very slowly on a wicket that is expected to take turn in this match. The honours were shared on the first day, but Sri Lanka, having consolidated in the latter part, would be confident. South Africa certainly could be happy on a wicket that could probably give more turn to their spinners tomorrow morning. We hope you enjoy the highlights, and good night.
From pastures and mountains so green, fresh Highland milk powder so pure, tasty, rich and creamy too. Highland, so good for you. Highland, Highland.
Highland milk powder, a truly Sri Lankan product.
Samada navum mihiren adana baven tiripun
Poshana gunayen sapirena navarasagena jana hadadina.
sirirak bima dasa desa rasamavana
Highland, Highland.
ice cream butter yogurt
Highland, සැබවින්ම දේශීය නිෂ්පාදනයකි.
Highland.
Few others would have got anywhere near that ball. So Tilakaratne retaining the strike. But look at this effort. Absolutely brilliant, and then he would have really put to shame a gymnast. Tucked away through fine leg. 4 runs. That was very well played. So Tilakaratne picking up the boundaries and doing it quite efficiently. The 300 up in 475 minutes of batting. That's a beautiful hit from Pramod Devikramasinghe. Overpitched delivery. Simcox either pitching it short or pitching it up. Either way punished. Donald now. Pramod Devikramasinghe goes for an adventurous stroke and is well held by Jonty Rhodes. That was not the best of strokes to play to that delivery. And what a catch from Jonty Rhodes. So Alan Donald strikes once more. Pramod Devikramasinghe also getting into double figures. But really, that was not the task expected of him. The ball pitched short. He saw it. Went back, but then couldn't control. He tried to go over the top. Top-edged it, in fact. But that man, Jonty Rhodes, very quickly running back, holding on to a very good catch. There it is. He saw it early, kept running, eyes on the ball. Excellent effort from the crack fielder. Right under it, in front of his eyes, he couldn't have made a mistake. So the last man in, Muttaya Muralidharan. Simcox into him. He goes over the top. Safe to play that stroke. And he's off the mark. Left without partners. A well struck through the covers. That's a beautiful stroke. And that'll race to the boundary. Everything behind it. Middle of the bat and into the gap. The outfield quite fast and batting made so easy now. Simcox overpitching onto Tilakaratne's leg stump, and he's through mid-wicket for yet another boundary. Well struck. Simcox doesn't like it. Coming out, getting it on the half volley, placing it wide of the fielder. Schulz into Tilakaratne. Wrapped on the pad, he's gone. Schulz strikes. Sri Lanka all out. 1:30, and this was with Tilakaratne third time into the 90s, and 5 times he's gone past 80 but not completed a test century, and this is his highest score at this venue. Played exceptionally well, held the innings together, but this particular delivery, he shuffled, it's not right up there, and then umpire Bran Aldridge had no hesitation in giving the batsman out. He added 90 runs today, 55 coming off Tilakaratne's bat, and 3 batsmen failing to get into double figures, but that 90-run partnership really steadying the innings, and Sri Lanka losing the last 5 wickets quite cheaply. No extras by way of buys, so Richardson kept well, and he also held on to 4 very good catches, 3 of them of Alan Donald. The lower order chipping in quite handsomely, giving valuable support to Tilakaratne, who held the innings together. Excellent effort from the left-hander. the bowling, Donald for the third time, 5 wickets in an innings in only his 6th test match. Birthday boy Schulz doubled his test wicket haul and returned his career best figures. Cronje, his perseverance gifted with the breakthrough of the wicket of Kalpage. Extine didn't bowl today, but the two spinners did not impress. Surprisingly, they did not get into the wickets. So Kepler Wessels. Receiving from Pramod Wickramasinghe, the only recognized quick bowler. He's quite an experienced batsman. In fact, the most experienced for South Africa. His last Andrew Hudson. Full toss, neatly clipped away through mid-wicket, and that'll be 4. That's a gift from Pramod Wickramasinghe, the only recognized fast bowler in the Sri Lankan squad. Hudson very cleverly dealt with that full toss. Oh, well struck, but not where he really intended to. Thick outside edge. He was aiming to drive it through cover. Nevertheless, the boundary. Oh, well played. Dropped it short, but he hit it quite well away from the fielder. So Hudson not afraid to punish the loose balls. Again, edges, and oh, Mahanama drops the catch at second slip. No excuses for that lapse on the field. Forced onto the back foot, thick outside edge, not travelling all that quickly. Good delivery. That came back on Hudson. So Wickramasinghe extracting some life with the new ball. Over-pitch delivery, stroked away, back out of point. So Hudson striking well. He made the first Test 100 for South Africa since readmission. But Wessels on strike now. Well played. Short delivery, very cleverly dealt with by the South African captain, whose last Test innings in Sri Lanka was a top score of 141 for Australia. Muralidharan, the fielder, and he's one of the quickest. The batsman had to hurry, they made it. Good pick up and throw. Aiming for the non-striker's end. Very close. KL Wijayatunga into the attack. Dropping it short, and Hudson doing the rest. Although he's subdued, he's very cleverly dealt with the loose deliveries. The ball turned on Wessels, but slowly. And Wijayatunga not afraid to toss that ball to the South African captain. Muralidharan. Over-pitching. Hudson driving very well, and Kalpage the fielder. Good effort from him. That ball travelling very quickly. South Africa off to a sedate but confident start. Kalpake dropping it short. And Hudson loves to play that stroke. He plays it quite well too. 4 more. The close-in fielders had to take evasive action. That was Tilakaratne. Piyal Wijayatunga. Dropping it short to Kepler Wessels. Waited for the ball to turn and then very cleverly dispatched it to the boundary. The Sri Lankan spinners not impressing. Muralidharan tossing up to Wessels and a long chase for the Sri Lankan captain. Does well to get to it. In fact, a boot supplemented for his lack of speed. That one turned on Hudson. That was close. He got a bat to that one. Well flighted, starting from outside off stump, from bat to pad, and then is also taking it out. Hudson had 6 boundaries, Wessels had only 2, but they had survived during that second break for rain, which is also 35 minutes, to take South Africa to safety. Faced 42 overs, but batted quite comfortably, especially against the spinners. And except for that missed chance by Roshan Mahanama, they batted quite sensibly. Pramod Wickramasinghe looked impressive, was quite unlucky not to have better figures, but Gurusinghe, a short ball before the spinners came in, Kalpake coming in with the 8th over, although the spinners bowled quite efficiently between themselves, not really looking threatening and quite unable to break through. South Africans dealt with them as they dropped the ball quite short on many occasions. With only 171 runs scored of 79.2 overs, there was not much cricket on the second day. But a solid start from the South Africans, who wrap up the Sri Lankan innings cheaply, was of importance to them, especially with the rest day coming up tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed the highlight. That was a terrible display of fielding, and 4 runs. No excuse for that. He stroked it well, timed it, but the ball was not travelling that far from Simcox, and the fielders kept field. Arjun Ranatunga approaching a well-deserved half-century. Cronje into him. Oh, powered through on the offside. Fine stroke from Arjun Ranatunga. You couldn't have asked for a better stroke to get to your half-century. Really played some magnificent cricket, and at a brisk pace. Down the track and then really pummeling it. 8 boundaries in his knock, and see that strike rate. Just 44 balls, 50 runs. 100 plus strike rate. Cronje into Ranatunga. Oh, beautifully glided. There was no slip. The field pushed back to curb the run flow. And that's the 100 partnership that has come up in a very, very good 81 minutes. The second 50 coming up in only 50 minutes. Oh, did he take it? The umpire doesn't think so. The South Africans appeal to the leg umpire. It's not in their favour, but that's worth taking a second look, or one more than that. Ball, Ranatunga coming forward, and he seemed to have scooped it, and a pretty straightforward catch to Cronje, who thought nothing about it. But what did you think? Oh, Kepler Wessels this time. And Donald the bowler. No excuse. Aravinda De Silva extremely lucky. Really going for a very big hit. And the Sri Lankans at this stage were throwing their bat at almost everything, especially with the experienced batsmen well on their way. Cronje in. Ranatunga cracks him well over. He clears the boundary by a long, long way, and that's a fine stroke. Scored a 6 in that same direction in the first innings, and some fine batting against some pretty loose bowling by the South Africans. Came out and took it on the half volley. Now once he was right under it, there was no question about where he was going to hit it. Simcox. Aravinda making room. Again the ball dropped short. Another fine boundary to Aravinda De Silva. He moves up to 68. Really no excuse now, and that famous supporters everywhere, and that one having Brian Aldridge, the neutral umpire, hurrying a little bit. Here's Simcox to Aravinda. Down the leg side, and an appeal for a catch behind. He's gone. Fine effort by the wicketkeeper on this occasion, and anybody would be proud to take a catch of that nature. Not the best of deliveries, but a fine knock coming to an end. A partnership that was 121 runs coming up in only 102 minutes of batting. Simcox dropped it short down the leg side, and Aravinda trying to tickle it on the...
Highland Kiripiti සැබවින්ම දේශීය නිෂ්පාදනයකි.
As you face a brand new day, make it the Highland way.
Rich and wholesome nutrition, the Highland taste for everyone.
Butter, yogurt, and ice cream.
Highland, Highland.
Fresh from our very own dairy.
Highland, a truly Sri Lankan product.
Highland.
Prashant Ratna nearly made 100 in the first innings. Donald in. Dropping it short and very neatly turned away over the head of square leg. That was well over the 200, coming up in 246 minutes of batting. But look at this. Fell over the head of Jimmy Cook, I believe. And always a boundary since it cleared the infield. Brett Schulz to Hashan Tilakaratne. Oh, well struck through the covers. That gave very little room for the fielders to even think. And fine stroke from Hashan Tilakaratne. That's his first boundary. Ranatunga appealed for an LBW, but Ranatunga really hurried on. What happened? He may have been struck on the boot or something. He was into the nervous 90s at this stage. And an attempted yorker, and Ranatunga seems to be in a lot of pain. Yes, he was. And he had to take a lot of treatment on field, and the South Africans took a welcome break. They were being pelted around, the bowlers especially. A lot of running for the fielders. Schulz in. Full toss. Clipped away neatly. Alan Donald, the fielder. And an appeal for a run out. But Tilakaratne, a quick mover, made it. But look at this. A fine pick up and throw first time. And Tilakaratne still not in the picture. Throw comes into Richardson, just that little bit, fraction of a second late. Tilakaratne in. That was close, nevertheless. Schulz to Tilakaratne, driving through the covers once more. Oh, he's a magnificent driver. And that's the boundary that brought the 50 partnership between the two in only 63 minutes of batting. And the Sri Lankans at this stage really hitting out at almost everything. And watch Ranatunga on 99. Schulz in. Oh, wrapped on the pad, appeal for LBW. Disallowed by the umpire. Almost in similar fashion to the first innings dismissal. Schulz really putting a lot of effort there. Bending his back, that may have just drifted down the leg stump. But well worth a shout. And here's Ranatunga. One run away from his century. Simcox into him. Plays it and misfielded, and that's his 100. He's happy. His fourth test 100 coming in at a time when the runs were really needed at a very quick pace, and he really did that. 14 boundaries and 1 6. Played some magnificent strokes right round the ground. The crowd absolutely delighted, and he gets congratulations all round. Fine knock from the captain, and just look at that. He's been a very severe square of the wicket, and anything that was pitched up were driven firmly, and so many deliveries bowled either too full or too short. That shows this scoring. Simcox in, dropping it short once more, waited for the turn. Tilakaratne earns another good boundary. He's really enjoying batting out there. Umpire Katie Francis back from England for this series after the umpire's seminar. Here's Clive Eckstein. Oh, that was very, very close. What happened on that occasion? The fielder was Simcox. Ranatunga not right to the pitch of that ball. Played from the crease, and Simcox first was slow, then realized the catch was on. Was late ultimately. Brett Schulz. Oh, dropped it short and cracked through cover point. No stopping that. With that boundary, Ranatunga moving up to 120. He's seeing the ball very well and hitting it so very delicately. Absolutely into position and no danger whatsoever. Donald. Forced away on the offside. Oh, Jody Rhodes. Fine effort from him. Well applauded. It seems to be in some discomfort, but nevertheless did his job so well. Forced away, wide of the fielder. He's still not in the picture. And look at that. Oh, diving full length. Still in control. And only he could have done it. Donald. Oh, the white lightning cracked through backward point. Cronje couldn't stop that one. That was the second boundary in the over. That's the 100 partnership coming up in 105 minutes of batting. The second 100 partnership in succession for the Sri Lankans. They are now in a very, very comfortable position. And the ground absolutely jam-packed at this stage. Ranatunga on 131. Schulz into him. Oh, bowled him. That was a tired stroke or what? It didn't matter. He has done his part. and a fine knock from him. A 110-minute partnership that brought in 103 runs and out with the total at 299. Fine knock from the Sri Lankan captain and a century in the first test between the two countries. Third man into the 90s, and 1 run later Sri Lanka declared 45 minutes after tea with Tilakaratne on 33 and Kalpage without scoring. But P.L. Wijetunga and Chandika Hathurusinghe, the batsmen who didn't get into double figures, the innings built around 2 solid century partnerships in the middle order after 2 early wickets. Sri Lanka playing some very purposeful cricket, helped along by the South Africans, who didn't bowl and field all round in this match, especially today. For the South Africans, Donald and Brett Schulz, although among the wickets, did not impress. Bowled far too many balls short and too full. And certainly the fielders did not do justice to them either. But Cronje disappointing. He didn't bowl much. Simcox 3 wickets, that's his best test returns. And Exton once again disappointing. South Africans needed to score 365 runs for victory. It was a challenging declaration with 25 overs remaining on the 4th day and a full day tomorrow. And Hudson, the top scorer for South Africa in the first innings. Wickremesinghe into him. Oh, that was a drop chance. A return catch, well attempted. But remember, he juggled with the return catch in the first innings, which he ultimately took, but not on this occasion. Just see this. Having delivered, he was on his way through on the follow-through, came to his side where he was running, but well away from him, but he should have really taken it. Wessels, quite a tired man, and the South Africans have been running around a lot, and they really needed to stay there till the close. Chandika Hathurusinghe bowling, opening the attack. Down the leg side, a loud shout, he's gone. And that's the first victim for Pubudu Dasanayake, and Hudson's dismissal has given first victims for the 2 debutants in this match. In the first innings, he was out to Pubudu, he was out to P.L. Wijetunga, and in this innings, caught by Pubudu Dasanayake. So quite disappointing. Chandika Hathurusinghe really didn't deserve a wicket. Many times he may have played and missed, but not on this occasion. But Pubudu Dasanayake had moved well and had that ball well in sight. Fine catch. That's the breakthrough Sri Lanka needed, and Hansi Cronje, batsman. So the captain and vice captain at the wickets. He really has to bat on, except for 1 innings he's been somewhat a disappointment. Promote the Wickremesinghe into him. Oh, got that one up. He's gone. Certainly he was. See the delight in Pramod Wickremesinghe, and he's getting the wickets when it's really needed, and it's not a very happy Cronje who's walking. He's a very tired man at the end of the day, and also a sad one. Really didn't impress. Got behind the line of that ball, as you could see, but there was some awkward bounce off the shoulder of the bat. It went to third slip, where the reliable substitute Sanath Jayasuriya was on the field for Arjuna Ranatunga and held on to a comfortable catch. So good work by Aravinda De Silva, leading the side in the absence of the regular captain. The Sri Lankans absolutely delighted Kalinin, the new batsman, batted confidently in the first innings, made 33. Coming in at a stage when South Africa in trouble. Double strike by the Sri Lankans. Wickremesinghe in. Dropping it short and beautifully played off his hip. Kepler Wessels. He could be the stumbling block for the Sri Lankans. Experienced opener and captain. Really got that one very comfortably away. Look at that. Saw that ball short and on his leg stump. And very, very well placed. There was bad light, and with 14 overs remaining, play was called off around 25 minutes before the schedule close, and those 2 wickets really mattering at this stage, with the wicket expected to take a turn, and the Wessels could be the one man that could take South Africa to safety. Pramod Wickremesinghe and Hathrusinghe striking and getting the breakthroughs. Muralitharan just 1 over for 1 run. But this wicket still turning, the spinners will have a big role to play tomorrow. The South Africans were sent on a leather hunt. They bowled badly, fielded badly, and that helped Sri Lanka get into a position of strength. They scored runs almost at will, and Arjun Ranatunga really held the innings together. After those early lapses, it was very interesting to see how the tired South Africans were going to cope up. They lost 2 wickets, gave the initiative back to Sri Lanka, and expect a packed house tomorrow and some very purposeful cricket that would put Sri Lanka in the driving seat and really have their chances up for a win in this test match. We hope you enjoy the highlights, and good night. Hello, good evening and welcome to highlights on the final day's play of the historic first test. When play commenced, it was half an hour late due to rain, but playing conditions stipulated that the 95 overs, including the 20 mandatory overs, could be bowled in the day after extended play time. The target for South Africa was 340 runs, and Sri Lanka had to bowl out the rest of the South African batsmen, numbering 8, if they were to win this match. The wicket had surprisingly played much easier than expected, and although turning slowly, the spinners were expected to bowl tight, at a length, and also with a lot of variation. We pick up play with the second over, Pramod Wickremesinghe into Kalinin. Wickremesinghe's first delivery of the day, a no ball, and comfortably dispatched by Kalinin, who doubles his score onto 8. That was the first boundary of the morning. Fine shot, dropped it short, and rolling his wrists over to control that stroke, keep it to the ground. And a fine way to start the day. That's a better delivery to the same batsman. Kalinin had been also in good touch in the first innings. Certainly a better delivery. That's what is expected of Wickremesinghe on this final day. But this man could make a big difference, a lot of experience. Wickremesinghe into the South African captain. Loud shout there, that ball not very far away. And Wessels really not right over that one. And good delivery, beat the batsman. These 2 batsmen having a lot of responsibility, especially to bat through the first hour. Wickremesinghe in, dropping it short once more, and for the second time Kalinin pulls him around, and he's been very severe on anything that has been loose. Good shot. Vikram Singh cannot afford to drop it short on this wicket. Vikram Singh in once more. Oh, that one kept low. And for the third time, Kalinan going for the pull. This is the danger. The last day of this test match, the pitch quite wear and tear at this stage. And if you don't pick the right bounce, you are in trouble. The ball bounced in front of the wicketkeeper. Kepler Wessels expected to bat for a long time. Muralidharan into the attack. Sweeps, and that ball is in the air, is caught. Brilliant catch there by Pramod Wickramasinghe, and the South African captain out in almost similar fashion. The delight of the players and the spectators. Half an hour into the final day's play, and Wessels played a bad stroke. And South Africa in real trouble. Muralidharan, owing to a set plan, pitched it outside the line of leg stump. A lot of bat onto that one. It was in the air, and Vikram Singh coming in very quickly from the boundary. It was a brilliant catch from the young fast bowler. Look at this. Took it from well outside his crease, and at a time when he was expected to stay, that was not the best of strokes by the South African captain. Look at this. Eyes always on the ball. Big tumble, but he made it. Good effort. Jimmy Cook, the new batsman, he has a lot of experience, and he's known to be a better player of spin. Vikram Singh to Kalinan, driven on the offside. That's a good stroke. And that was his third boundary. He moved up to 22 with that, and the 50 coming up. Kalinan not afraid to play his strokes, and that's important. Vikram Singh. A full toss. Very well placed. Picked the gap up, and the rest was easy. Enough power to carry over the ropes. Fourth boundary to Kalinan, he's on to 27. That was a loose delivery from Vikram Singh. The efficiency was picking the gap, and he did so quite comfortably. P.L. Vijay introduced into the attack. And Kalinan straight off, going after the young bowler in his first test match. And a fine boundary. He's on to 31. The ball onto his leg stump, and Kalinan coming out of his crease took it on the half volley, and a very good strike. Muralidharan, the ball turning, and a loud shout from the bowler. Jimmy Cook not all that convincing. Well flighted, but probably a vicious turner, missing leg stump. The crowd built up after the start of play. This is Ruan Kalpage dropping it short, very comfortably dispatched by Daryl Kalinan, and this is good batting by the youngster, really taking the attack to the bowler. And no point in having close infielders. Look as they back off. That ball well short, hit to the ground, and with power. Muralidharan dropping it short, and with the spin, swung away. 4 runs wide of Pramod Wickramasinghe. With that boundary, Kalinan equalled his test best score of 46 made against India. 3 close infielders on the onside, all of no use, and most of them taking evasive cover. Wickramasinghe introduced into the attack. Wrapped on the pad as he shuffled forward, up goes the finger. He's on his way. Darrell Cullinan for the second time out in this match LBW, and what a good strike. Quarter of an hour into the second session. He looked dangerous. He was batting extremely well, and at a time when Sri Lanka really needed the breakthrough provided by Vikram Singh. Look at this delivery. Looking to play on the onside. He shuffled a little bit, and see the delight of the Sri Lankan wicketkeeper and the bowler. Jonty Rhodes, the new batsman, he's had a marvellous game on the field, but really looking to save the day for South Africa. Muralidharan. Full toss, neatly worked away through the onside, 4 runs, and Cook moving on to 18, and the 100 up in 174 minutes of batting. South Africa still not out of the woods, and the spectators having some fun. Muralidharan again over pitching, but that was very well played, and Jimmy Cook looking a lot more confident, and he needs to bat, so taking it from well outside off stump. There was danger in playing that stroke with the field well placed, but he played it quite well in the end. Pial Wijayatunga to Jonty Rhodes. Well flighted, he was to the pitch of the ball and found the gap on the offside. Aravinda De Silva gives chase, but enough power to take over the boundary. That was a good looking shot from the right-hander, and this is what is expected of the South Africans, coming out of crease at a time when things were not all that rosy, but very confident Rhodes on that occasion. Fine shot. Wijayatunga again over pitching, this time straight driven past the bowler on the onside, and this is good batting by young Jonty Rhodes, not afraid to come out of his crease to get the pitch of the ball. That's quite important. Unlike Jimmy Cook, he doesn't have much of a reach, but he's very quick on his feet. Wijayatunga once more, and that was travelling quickly to Tilakaratne. May have got a bat to it. Well, if he did get a life. Down the track once more, and Tilakaratne really trying to take evasive action, realized too late that the ball was not hit firmly. Arjuna Ranatunga coming into the field, and this was well into the afternoon session. Wijayatunga to Cook, and he plays forward. He's disappointed, he's gone. Well caught by the forward short leg fielder, and that was an important strike. This is very good bowling, and Hashan Tilakaratne, one of the safe fielders, batted well. 2 hours and 20 minutes of batting, pretty healthy innings together. Didn't fancy too many strokes, played sensibly, but really couldn't control on that occasion. And look at this, fine anticipation on the part of Tilakaratne, explains why he's such a fine fielder. Dave Richardson, the wicketkeeper, the new batsman, expected to stay at the wicket and give valuable support to Jonty Rhodes, who's looking confident at the other end. Taking strike from Muralidharan round the wicket. The wrong one, that didn't work right for the bowler. Played wide of Vikram Singh down to the boundary. And Rhodes very severe on anything loose. Look at that. 55 balls, 23 runs, but 3 boundaries. Aravinda De Silva brought into the attack by Arjuna Ranatunga. And that's an edge. The wicketkeeper didn't move. Going down to the boundary, there was no slip there. And that could be a missed opportunity. Looking for the turn, and he had already started to move down the leg side. And outside edge. Aravinda goes up in the air. Dave Richardson is given out. Up comes the finger and out goes the batsman. Richardson, very unfortunate. Didn't impress. The only batsman who got off to a mark with a boundary in the second innings for South Africa. But not long enough. At 139 for 6, midway through the day, South Africa in real trouble. The ball scooping up. Tilakaratne, comfortable catch from him. He's delighted. The closing fielders went up. And just look at the delight of Aravinda De Silva. Pat Simcox into the action. Batted sensibly and well in the first innings. Wijetunga calls to him. Oh, that's a loud shout and a good one too. Simcox quite amused. Certainly that was not what Wijetunga thought. Closing fielders crouching, that ball straightening up a little bit. Muralidharan not impressing. Well flighted and driven square, or rather he intended to do so. Thick edge down to the third man boundary, 4 runs. Rhodes on to 35 with that fourth boundary. And he's willing to take the attack to the bowlers. Wijetunga into him. Again stroked away. Good shot. Timed it well. Placed it away from the mid-on fielder. 4 runs. Again coming out of his crease and then right to the pitch of that ball. Excellent stroke there. Rhodes batting extremely well. Muralidharan into him and driven square on the offside. This time a much better stroke. Back of the point, 4 runs. And that brought a fine half-century for Jonty Rhodes. The 4th time he's gone past that half-century mark in Test cricket and coming at an important time. He was not tied down. The second new ball taken and Hathurusinga, the bowler, not the best of strokes but very effective. There was no third man. Immediately after it was due, Ranatunga took the second new ball, dropping it short, but really not much effort from Pat Simcox. He's happy to edge it uppishly, safely over the slips. Aravinda De Silva dropping it short and Simcox hammering it away. That was a good strike by the South African. And that was 6. It didn't gain height, but look at this. Powerful stroke into the mid-wicket boundary. Vikram Singh. Overpitched and driven through the covers. From the moment it left the bat, there was no mistake of the boundary. And very well picked up by Jonty Rhodes. The 200 up in 312 minutes of batting. South Africa now getting into a position of safety. Aravinda De Silva balls and not very far away from Gurusinha. Exactly what happened there. The reaction of the close-in fielders was instant. And look at this. Gurusinha in perfect position, going up. The ball from the middle of the bat going down. And Gurusinha quite late. And this is the very next delivery. Hit up on the air. Comfortable catch to Chantika Hathurusinga. And really no explanation for that stroke from Pat Simcox. He batted so well and then played a false stroke. 7 for 200 and South Africa again in trouble. The crowd picked up and overflowing were jubilant. Valuable support from him, but bad stroke. Aravinda De Silva pitching it outside the leg stump, and Simcox really didn't move, played from where he just stood, and really couldn't understand why he tried to go over the infield. He was batting so well up to that point, all of a sudden lost concentration. Comfortable catch, well taken by Hatrusingha. This gives a better picture. Really, he tried to probably play it to mid-wicket, top-edged it, and finally ended up with mid-on. A very concerned South African cricket manager Mike Proctor. Clive Eckstein in. Vijayatunga dropping it short to Jonty Rhodes. Hatrusingha won't get to it. Again on this wicket. Still very good for batting. The Sri Lankan spinners not doing justice. Very short indeed. The ball turning away from the right-hander. Rhodes in perfect position. He saw that early, got into position, and a controlled stroke. Vijayatunga again. Well pitched up. Driven through the covers. No stopping that one. Very well struck indeed. And if he's not pitching it too short, Vijayatunga has been guilty of getting that ball well up to the batsman, and you cannot make use of the close-in fielders if you're bowling in that fashion. The crowd really spilling out. They are enjoying a perfect evening. Aravinda De Silva. Oh, that one not far away from the Sri Lankan captain. In the air for a moment or two. And that's 4 runs. Mahanama couldn't get to it. Jonty Rhodes on to 87 with that boundary. He's nearing his top score. Kalpake dropping it short and smacked away on the onside. Wait for the umpire's decision. That's 6, and Jonty Rhodes on to 94 with that. And what a way to get to his highest test score, beating the previous 90 he made against India. Fine knock from him, batted under tremendous pressure, and now within striking range of the second century of this match. Muralidharan getting that one to turn in from around the wicket. He pitched that ball outside the off stump, turned in to him, but Guru Singh really was moving too quickly. And a loud shout. Tilakaratne again diving quickly. Ball dropped short, but see the anticipation of Tilakaratne. Excellent effort. A much happier man now, Proctor. But 7th bowler, Hashan Tilakaratne. That one upishly past the bowler. That will reach the boundary, and more important, give Jonty Rhodes his maiden test century. Batted extremely well, coming up in double quick time, and that's a fine knock from the young batsman, coming at a time when South Africa really needed the entire South African team on their feet. Played his strokes all round the ground, batted with a lot of assurance. He was not afraid to come out and drive whenever it was pitched up. That's the last delivery of the historic test match. South Africa were happy. Clive Eckstein just batting it, and during the latter stages he had more of the strike. And what a match for Jonty Rhodes. Batted extremely well for over 4¼ hours, and the crowd really spilling over. The South Africans had done their part. They were batting through this historic test match on the final day, and they were expected to bat with a lot more determination, to bat through the day, not to win, but to save. They did exactly that, and 2 half-century partnerships that made a big difference. When Simcox was out, it could have been different, but Clive Eckstein hung on, and 30 extras, the third highest score in the scorecard. 3 batsmen out, did not get into double figures. 7 bowlers tried by the Sri Lankans. Aravinda De Silva, his test best figures, and apart from Pramod Wickramasinghe, none of the spinners impressed. 6 wickets in the match, including his first 5-wicket haul and test best returns in the first innings. He turned the ball better than anybody in this match. 44 runs in the first innings and 131 in the second, the highest scorer of the match, and no wonder he got the Best Batsman's award. Special award for Jonty Rhodes for his maiden Test 100 and his wonderful fielding. He richly deserved for his fine rearguard action that took South Africa to safety from a perilous position. The main award in this match went to the Sri Lankan captain. He richly deserved it after his fine effort in the second innings.